1 hour of flight experience. That's the airline experience. So how did the pandemic affect your career as a pilot?
I had really bad grades, especially in math. So even if I really wanted to be a pilot,
And for sure, this is just a setback for a greater comeback. Hi guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Filipina Pilot Shaska, and for today's episode, napaka-special lang episode natin because I will be interviewing, it is an honor, to interview SPUTNIK Aviation CEO.
CEO ba? Founder lang naman.
Founder.
Founder lang.
Okay, sige. Founder, Sir David
Koenigswarter.
De Koenigswarter. Lagi kami nagbibiro, nahirapan ako sa name niya. Hi, Sir David!
How are you? Well, you're doing great kasi you did great.
Oh, thank you. Kasi a quick lang background. We just finished we're here at Alpha. We just finished my license renewal. Si Sir David, the instructor ko. Galing. Thank you so much talaga. Ayun, so how are you? Like, feeling ko dito ka na nakatira sa Alpha.
Halos nga, I haven't been home in like more than a week. So since the pandemic started, this has been the longest, aside from yung pagpunta ko sa UN, it's the longest time that I've been away from home. So
Wow.
really busy the past couple of weeks, which is good. So I'm really thankful for that. So good, it's like it's back to working.
So it's a full-time job na dito sa Alpha.
Not quite. I'm not really employed with Alpha. I'm considered as a dry lease instructor. So I'm an associated instructor na hindi talaga kasama sa roster, pero I'm qualified to utilize the simulator. So yeah.
So that explains kung bakit siya instructor namin. Okay, I just want to get to know Sir David kasi we haven't talked that much about his childhood or kung bakit niya na-start in Sputnik. I just want to know some background. So, sir, how did you become a pilot? Like, was it your childhood dream?
Yes, like many pilots out there, I started off fascinated with flying because my dad had a computer when I was like 4. So parang naglalaro ako ng mga fighter jet games and all that, and he always bought me little planes. So ever since I was a kid, super fascinated talaga ako sa aircraft. And then, I really wanted to become a pilot ever since. The problem was, ang pangit ng academics ko talaga. I had really bad grades, especially in math. So even if I really wanted to be a pilot, my parents were they were kind of discouraging it kasi nga, nakita nila na hindi ako dedicated sa studies, and everyone, usually you think if you're a pilot, you have to be good at science,
Yes.
at math, So I was always kind of that idea was always pushed away. And then one day, when my dad got kind of sick, when he was older now, I realized parang, I have to do something. This is one life, this life is short, and if I really want to become a pilot, that's what I'm going to do. So I literally begged in front of my parents. When my dad was in the hospital, I was begging him pa, and my mom. So eventually they saw naman my sincerity about it. And eventually they supported it. So thankfully, I started flying school at the age of 25.
Wow.
So yeah.
And nag-airline ka din, no? Nag-airline. Magkasama kami before sa
I started flying in Cebu. I studied at Airworks Aviation Academy. Did my CPL, instrument rating, and multi-engine there. Then I was lucky because when I just finished, that was my elections in 2016. So there's a lot of charters. So I flew some charters to build time. And then I took my Airbus type rating.
As we all know, the travel industry is greatly affected. So how did the pandemic affect your career as a pilot?
Well, it was rather dramatic on my end. I resigned from our airline before. Very good, happy job. But I did it for a career move in a competing airline here in the Philippines to fly a bigger aircraft. Something, it's a dream. If I want to fly a big plane, I was going to move to the 330 as a first officer. Unfortunately, after I did the whole resignation process, my starting date at that airline was the first day of the lockdown.
Ouch.
In the Philippines. So it was extremely painful on my end because I was so excited. I had my schedule for sim training and everything, and it didn't push through. So for quite a while, I was a little depressed, but syempre, my wife was pregnant at the time, so at least I got to bond with her and support her and all that. So what happened was, after feeling down for quite a while, I decided to, enough is enough. I have to change my mindset, get back on my feet. And I decided to go to the US and pursue my FAA ATPL license, just to make myself, more tangible, more experience and all that. So that was a great investment. At the same time, I came here to Alpha and I took the synthetic flight instructor course. So that gave me more knowledge, a little more experience, and now I'm able to utilize the simulators here. So aside from all of that, syempre, it all began with Sputnik Aviation, which was just simply what was getting me by the first portion of the lockdown.
Yeah.
And I'm very blessed and lucky that a lot of people actually enjoyed what I was doing. And it led to, a lot of good things.
Yeah, yun nga yung tatanong ko because not a lot of people know already about Sputnik, but to those na hindi alam yung Sputnik, what is Sputnik Aviation?
Sputnik Aviation is basically a community of aviation enthusiasts and actual pilots who were all affected by the pandemic. It started with me, and I was basically flying the Airbus on a home flight simulator. And I decided to stream it on Facebook, and quickly it picked up because I was doing a lot of standard procedures and all that, and I was teaching a lot of aspiring pilots. So it grew and grew, and I started interviewing different people, CEOs, pilots, cabin crew, and it's now become a whole community of learning. There's a training syllabus that we have. We're now creating our Sputnik Aviation virtual airline. So it's a full online airline experience, as well as, of course, actual flight training in partnership with Alpha Aviation Group, who we are partners with in a marketing agreement.
So parang basically, this all started because of the pandemic. Dahil medyo bored ka, hindi mo pa alam yung gagawin mo, and then,
Absolutely, yeah.
diba, like, God really has ways for you to bless other people. And nakikita ko yung blessing mo sa ibang tao. Because ang ginagawa ni Sir David, he also teaches even us pilots to be proficient, and yun, kahit na nasa bahay lang kami, at least we get to review the procedures, tapos aspiring pilots to have the ability, kahit na wala silang, hindi pa sila licensed, pero natuturuan ni Sir David ng, alam mo yun, kanina meron kami si Gian, isa siyang graphic designer dito sa Sputnik, and he can even land the A320 without even editing just because of Sir David. So, na-amaze ako because ang dami niyang natutulungang tao, and it's a blessing to others. So,
Well, at the same time, these people like Gian are the ones that are driving Sputnik. I can't do it myself. So,
yeah.
almost everyone at Sputnik does this voluntarily. The goal is to eventually be able to monetize some of what we're doing, because since the beginning, everything has been free.
Yeah.
So with the help of people like Gian and all the other aviation enthusiasts, it's a give and take. So we exchange the knowledge and teachings of flying, and in return, they're helping us run the community.
And now you are hiring people. So how does it feel that you are already a blessing to others?
Well, we're in the middle of processing our SEC, DTI papers and all of that. So it's really unbelievable what 1 year of pandemic did, and it really kind of just made us strive to build and to create something positive out of all of the negativity. So as I always like to say on my streams, it's all about perception. Yes, there's a lot of bad things that have happened, but it's really how you look at things. Are you gonna keep yourself in this hole na everything is bad, or are you gonna try and transform that into something positive?
And that's what I'm also telling people, na dapat if there's something negative that's coming into your life, do something positive about it. And for sure, this is just a setback for a greater comeback. So yung aviation industry, ito yung way ni Sir David to help the aviation community. So nakakatawa talaga. And did you ever think that Sputnik will be this big?
Never. Hence the name. Sputnik, a lot of people are asking me, by the way, we have nothing to do with the actual vaccine. Nauna pa nga kami sa vaccine. Sputnik is actually the name of my dog.
Wow.
And he is the logo.
Tell us about the airline experience kasi it's all over the net. As in, ang dami ng tao nakatry. So I'm so amazed na you give people a chance to fly an Airbus 320 without any experience. So tell us about this.
Well, we're very lucky to be partnered with Alpha Aviation Group. We basically are now offering the first and only recreationally available Airbus simulator in this country. So,
Wow.
the catch was syempre that we had to be qualified to operate the sim. So since I took the course here, we're now able to utilize the facilities. And since, as we know, the airlines are kind of not doing so well now, so there's a lot of free time. Alpha's agreed to support our product in letting the general public, especially aspiring pilots or aviation enthusiasts, to use the sim. So, and not one of them have gone out of there without smiles coming out of their masks. So it's very fulfilling to see how people are so in love with flying.
And merong FA, as in may flight attendant on board. So it's amazing.
Yeah, actually we have a former colleague of ours. We got to join us at Sputnik. So she's there to perform the actual communication between cabin crew and pilots during actual flight. So it really calls for a very realistic experience for the customer, the flyer. So they get to see talaga how the crew coordinates.
Ang question nila, kung anybody ba pwedeng itry at saka may age limit ba or minimum requirements?
For us, basically anyone who's in love with aviation or is very curious about it, as long as you are above 14 years old, which are the rules of this facility that we have to abide by, you are more than welcome to join us and experience flying for yourself in a airline training quality level flight simulator.
Wow. And please tell them, ito meron kasi kaming collaboration and this is very exciting because we will give away 1 hour of flight experience. That's the airline experience. Yun yung collaboration namin. So, I hope na yung video namin for TikTok, we will give the mechanics very soon. Pero yung video namin, you need to do with it and mag-practice na kayo kung ano yung mga sagot nyo, kung bakit kayo deserving to win that. And for the last question, Sir David, since we all know that we are affected ng pandemic, ano yung message mo to aspiring pilots na nawawala na ng mga pag-asa because of the aviation industry?
Basically, guys, the prize is always sweeter when you go through a struggle. If you're able to convert the negative emotions into something positive and you work really hard for it, it's gonna come out really, really, really sweet at the end. So I really hope that you never give up on your dreams because there will always be a challenge that comes forth. So yun lang, any good pilot will always be up for a challenge, and I hope you guys are.
Yun! And you heard it from Sir David himself. And super thank you and honored to be having a collab with you and an interview with you. And I hope mas madami pang piloto at aspiring pilots, yung kahit hindi aspiring pilots, na to learn something from Sir David, from us.
Nice. Pitch down the konti, Justin.
200.
Perfect.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Chop.
Retard. 10.
Left rudder na konti. Konti lang.
5.
You know?